and good morning. Welcome back. Today we're going to do an oil change on the CRF250L. We are at basically the first 1,000 kilometer oil change mark. We are at 984, so this is close enough. We are going to change the oil, and I will walk you through the steps and what is needed to change the oil. So let's get started. First off, the most important thing is the oil. You need 1.5 liters of oil to change the oil in the CRF250L. You need an oil pan to capture the oil as you drain it from the bike. You'll need a funnel to add the oil. You'll need a rag in order to clean up oil. You'll need a ratchet with a 8mm and a 12mm head. You will need the torque wrench in order to tighten up the bolts on the oil casing and the drain plug. And last, you'll need the oil filter, the gasket, and the crush washer, which needs to be replaced when you change the oil. Okay, now that you have all your equipment together, it is time to start. And you start off by idling the bike between 3 and 5 minutes to warm up the oil. And after it's been idling for about between 3 and 5 minutes, shut it off and let it rest for another 3 to 5 minutes. And now with the bike cooled down, we can begin. First step, if you can see, there's a little hole right there. That's the drain plug. So you use your number 12 socket and you loosening it up and let the oil drain. And now just going to use the socket head. Make sure the pan is underneath, and I'm going to remove the bolt. And the oil will drain. Okay. So next, remove the oil-filled cover. So the next phase, once the oil has been drained out, is to remove the oil filter cover. There are 4 bolts, and they are a 8mm size socket. Once you remove the cover, you'll see the engine oil filter and the black gasket around it. And inside the case itself, there is a washer, so make sure you don't drop it into the oil. And now clean it up, and we can start putting assembly back together. One note, when you do remove the cover, oil will drain, so make sure you have your pan underneath to catch any additional oil that will drain around. Okay, now with the cover off, we can remove, make sure I get my rag ready. We can remove the old engine oil filter. Okay. And you can see there's still some oil there, so we will clean that up. And now we will remove the oil gasket, the old one. So the next stage is to reassemble the oil filter mechanism. And what we have is the new gasket. And it only fits on one way, so if the holes don't line up, you have it on backwards. And then you have your spring, which goes in the center, and then the filter itself. There's a rubber part that will be facing out, and as you see here, this one says outside, so it's really the outside of the bike, but it's really the inside of this little mechanism. And then all together, this goes up and assembles. Okay, once you have everything lined up and the bolts hand tightened, the next step will be to use your torque wrench and tighten the bolts to 9 feet-pounds worth of pressure. Next, we will put on the drain plug itself, and first thing we will do will be to remove the old crush washer, discard it, and put the new crush washer on that purchased. Now clean up the drain hole with a rag and put the washer back in the plug. Once it's tightened by hand tight, you will use your torque wrench again, and this time you'll be torquing it to 18 feet-pounds. There you go. Now, using your funnel, you will add 1.5 liters worth of oil back into the engine. And with the oil added, now the final thing would be to add the oil fill cover on. And to start the bike, let it idle for a few minutes and check the reading of the oil down in the window. Once you have your oil at the desired level, make sure you check for any leaks around the oil casing, oil filter casing, and in the drain plug itself. And you may want to, after your first ride, also double check that you are not having any leaks. And then finally dispose of your old oil in a proper fashion for the environment. And that will be it for the oil change on the CRF250L. Don't forget to like and subscribe.